Welcome to margaretSpeaks.com, the only Oprah of Africa that we know of, including myself. It is Friday. Thank God it's Friday. You're like, what is so special? What a minute you live to see this day. Many people didn't live to see this day, so you should be grateful. No matter the condition you find yourself, just think to yourself it could have been worse. So for that reason, we are grateful. I am grateful on your behalf. For those of you that are having the hardest time in your lives, you lost a loved one and stuff, our hearts go off to you. But guess what? Amid all of this confusion that this mysterious, monstrous virus is causing in our lives, I can guarantee you some good will come out of it. Let's begin to become optimistic. Yes, you on margaretSpeaks.com is a platform where we share encouragement. Because if we'll focus on the gloom and doom of what's going on, we're going to miss what is important. What lesson is this going to teach us? How we're going to come back together stronger and better as a people, more united than ever, to see the unity between us, amongst us, than looking for the differences so we can think we're better than somebody. Heck no, those days are over. We are in a new era. So this COVID-19 is here to tell us that we are brothers and sisters. And I'm telling you, as the Oprah, I am the Oprah of Africa. American Oprah would say, yes, we can do this, really. So welcome to the show. I'm so excited. Let me not waste your time. I have a special guest for you, a woman who's widely and worldly traveled, whose heart is in the right place, making sure the less privileged, those that have been left behind, are cared for. Under the tutelage of the United States Department of Treasury, she will share that with you. Her name is Lisa Jenkins, but she's also gorgeous. So just don't hate, congratulate. Isn't it amazing when a woman has it all? She's gorgeous, she's smart, and she's killing it in the marketplace. Lisa is someone that when you get to meet her, you know that you are blessed. Hopefully each and every one of you get to hear from her. Let me give you a brief introduction about who Lisa is. Just a tidbit in terms of her profession, or what she does, how she travels wide and back. A few years ago, when she shared with me a bit of the heart on what is important about historical Black colleges, the things they're leaving behind, what the office and GSA could do so that they can leverage. I said, wow, you are visionary. How many people think about other people? This woman, she's always calling me and saying, I'm going to go donate something here. This women or this children can eat. And sometimes she makes me feel like I'm not doing enough. Without further ado, Lisa is the woman-owned small business program manager, industry liaison program analyst for historical Black colleges and universities for the Office of Small and Disadvantaged Business Utilization at the United States Department of Treasury. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, young ones, old ones, we're all in this thing called life together. Please help me welcome a special woman that I have so much respect for. She's so young, yet so smart and wise.
Oh my
God
goodness.
is using her for such a time like this. Welcome to the show, Lisa. Thank you for being on Margaret Speaks show.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for the warm introduction. And thank you, everyone, for joining us today during your happy hour. We love when you guys sign up and check the box to say yes to wanting to move the needle, to say yes to wanting to build capacity in your communities, to say yes to wanting to say, I know it takes a village, right, to raise a family. We are your family now. We need that togetherness and that bond today. It is an honor to be on the call with powerful thought leaders, industry, and HBCU university heads. I would be remiss if I did not thank Dr. Jureke for inviting me to speak today. Today's theme changes the narrative for historically Black colleges as it relates to Executive Order 13779. A lot has happened through the direct and the indirect results of COVID-19. But we know that some positive...
But Lisa, hold on, though.
Yes.
You just said something very powerful, and I don't think they get it, so forgive me for interrupting. You just talked about it very quickly. So let me set the stage and the tone for this conversation. So as the president and CEO of Witati, I'm so blessed that my daughter and I got invited, because you need to give them the background of what this signing is, this MOU you're about to talk about. They need to understand the impact of it and what your office is doing, particularly for that. So I had the honor of attending the official memorandum of understanding, which we call MOU, between the U.S. Department of Treasury and the General Services Administration, GSA, right? As the CEO, I would like to take this time to thank Secretary Mnuchin for his astute leadership in making this happen. Could you explain what this is and what that has to do with historical Black colleges? Thank you so much for letting me interrupt you.
As much folks have seen how Treasury levels up during COVID-19, the advocacy that we do at Treasury is synonymous to, if I can help somebody, then that living shall not be in vain. This sentiment is shared throughout the entire business enterprise at Treasury. I am delighted to share with you today that on January 13, 2020, the U.S. Department of the Treasury and the General Services Administration signed an official memorandum of understanding to support historically Black colleges and universities in federal contracting opportunities. This event was historic because no other federal agency has ever formed such an agreement, and it was propelled by the Executive Order 13779. And the prong that we thought of is increasing capacity and competitiveness for HBCUs in contracting. We currently have.
Hold on. I need to interject again. So here, this is really great. Let me kind of press you a little bit. So now that MOU is signed between Department of Treasury and rightfully so, and GSA, to benefit historical Black colleges in getting access to funding, what does that really mean in pre and post COVID-19? How can historical Black colleges, and you talked about the kind of funds they are leaving behind or being left behind, what does that really mean in times such as now for Black colleges, historical Black colleges? Can you speak to that so that they can take some meat out of this conversation?
Oh, most certainly. While I'm not the representative to speak on COVID-19 for Treasury, that has been deferred to senior leadership. What I can say is that at Treasury, we don't want to keep our opportunities at silo. We encourage folks to look at our forecast of contracting opportunities. Our website, www.treasury.gov/OSDBU. That's OSDBU. On there, you would find our forecast of contracting opportunities. I also encourage folks to go to the grants website. And if you can pull up the grants.gov slide really quickly, so we could just go over some grant opportunities that are available for HBCUs, I think that would be great. So,
I think that should be coming up. That slide should be coming up shortly. But what does that mean? Does it mean that this opportunity, the grant you want to talk about, every historical Black college or university should or has access to it, where they can leverage and get more grants or something to that effect?
It's not necessarily more, I should not say more grants, because all grants are available to HBCUs where they can be the grantee and be a sub awardee for a grant opportunity. And so there are 64 grant opportunities in the keyword that has HBCU. So we know that there's 64 that are geared directly for HBCUs. And if they're not applying, certainly go on that website, which is www.grants.gov. And in that search tool, enter HBCUs and be sure to earmark those opportunities. Right.
So what makes you think that they're done? So because I was kind of shocked when we attended that MOU signing about the important information you guys were sharing. I thought to myself, so does it mean these colleges and universities do not know about this types of funding that is available to them? That at the other side of it, if they could accumulate those funds that are available to them, that will help the students who don't even have the money to not be burdened with a lot of student loan. Can you speak a little bit of, because I was excited. That's why I said we need to talk about this so they can go get the money that is due them, that is out there through federal contracting. Can you speak to that?
Yeah, I can speak to, we have 3 HBCUs that are on GSA IT 70 schedule. They are Alabama A&M, Fayetteville State University, and Oakwood University, and they are on GSA IT 70 schedule. And I think that HBCUs will find that they already have the capabilities. Each school has its own resident capabilities. So what we are encouraging them to do is to fold up their capabilities into a one capability statement and make sure that their SAM profile speaks to that. And SAM is the System for Award Management. And make sure that they squarely align their NAICS codes with their capabilities. So when the federal government does market research to see if they are capable to do a requirement and or a grant opportunity, we know that they squarely have the capabilities to do so. And we want to make sure that we have a direct POC that we can reach out to at the university. What is happening is HBCUs already know that they have the capabilities to perform this work. They just need a little bit of help and guidance and coaching in terms of being able to have the infrastructure, if you will, to designate a POC at their university. So maybe the idea could be that they could partner up with a high performing small business that is in one of our small business socio-economic goaling areas that can help them build out and refine their capability statement. And they don't always have to be a prime contractor. They can be a subcontractor. And they can also work with our Treasury prime contractors as well to seek procurement opportunities. So we encourage them to leave no stone uncovered and really use this as a time to think outside of the box. I think it's always important to say, well, wait a minute, this happened, but what great can come out of it? Does it mean that an HBCU can be an anchor for testing in their communities or helping with supply chain data analytics, right? Supply chain as it relates to even getting basic PPE supplies in their community, or even toilet paper and all of these things that we took for granted before COVID-19. They could help get their arms around that. They could also look at doing case studies. If the conversation is that the majority of folks that are dying from COVID-19, for an example, is related to a health concern or to a dietary concern, can an HBCU do that type of challenge-based acquisition or thought process from a research development posture where they can do studies on minorities on why this is occurring? I think that they are the best poised for it because they're right resident in the communities where they can use folks in their community. So I also look at opportunities as it relates to the SNAP benefits that some folks are eligible for, and doing case studies on making sure that folks eat healthy food that are recipients of SNAP benefits. Right? So it's all about just thinking outside of the box. What can we do now?
Wait, Lisa, hold on. Thinking right out of the box. You just went into a segue to what the next question was going to be, and you can continue on that line of thought. Because today the question is the outlook of historical Black colleges pre and post COVID-19. What should they be doing in preparation? Because some of them thinking we can't wait to go back. There is no going back. There will never be the old us. Even I'm not the same person I was when I woke up yesterday. Why do I want to go back to the person I was? So given how bad this COVID-19 is, I don't know if historical Black colleges, I know they're preparing, they're doing their best. The goal for this conversation is to wake us up, to let us know that there will be nothing like yesterday. We can't go back the way. What do you think, in your own humble opinion, that having had that kind of interaction with all these historical Black colleges around the nation, through and through, Southwest, East, whatever, what do you think they should be thinking or doing now, or as to where do they go post COVID-19? Because if not, I saw or heard about certain statistics. I think it was on CNN, and they talked about when this is over, about 40 or 42% businesses will be dead. And I heard some who they will never come back up again. And I heard someone talk about some colleges may actually die. But this is the time where we either adapt or die. My motto is I'm an adapter. I can quickly flip it. And we need to have that mindset. Can you take us down that path? What do you think they should be doing to make sure that they adapt and they stay? Because there are not too many historical Black colleges, and we cannot afford to lose any of them.
And I don't think we will, right? They
That's
have already arrived, and they arrived way before my time.
That's right.
And they are relevant, and they've always been relevant and will stay relevant.
That's awesome.
The key is just being able to make them not have a seat at the table, but be at the head of the table, to be considered for opportunities where it is an equitable share across the board with traditional universities, and be considered as a relevant partner in federal government contracting and grants. And just us being working hand in hand in a partnership. I think sometimes we have all of the attributes, but even in my case, I needed a mentor to bring out certain gifts, and I still need refinement. And so even talking to you and having that dialogue with you today shows me how I'm improving on my skills. And it's the same thing that would apply in the HBCU community. So they have arrived, they are relevant, they are doing great things. In fact, the highest proportionate share of IT graduates come from HBCUs. And if you go on this website, the Government Accountability website, which is www.gao.gov, and you click on the link that says Key Issues, on Key Issues, it will carry you down to a page that says Federal Agencies and/or Issues. You would click on Federal Agencies, and you could literally do a checkbox on each federal agency. In this case, I would say click on U.S. Department of Treasury. But what you will find is if you click on several of those links, for all of them, cybersecurity is a high-risk issue. And that's an issue that HBCUs have mastered, that is in their skill sets today.
That's great.
They are doing relevant work and have gotten contracts in NAICS such as 541, 611, and a host others. So it shows that they're relevant. All they need is a spokesperson to show that they can do the work.
And you are doing such a great job as a spokesperson. I'm very encouraged. What I hear you say is that they are prepared, they're moving towards that path. That's so encouraging. As a product of the Historical Black College, Howard University is I went on to American University where I got my Jewish doctorate degree in law, but Howard University was my first historical Black college. At the time I went there, I didn't even know how important. I knew it was a great university, or is still a great university. But it's later on down the road that I understood the power. We're going to take a quick commercial break on I think it's something, I don't know which one they have out today, but something on sensors, because I heard you talk about how important those kind of data could be that culminates to what the historical Black colleges can get at the table and things of that nature. That's why we must not take any of this things lightly. I'm very encouraged now hearing from you. When we come back, we're going to talk about some of the tidbits of information or what we need to take away from this and the way forward. Thank you so much, and we will be right back after this quick commercial break.
I see it actually as an opportunity for our community members to be civically engaged and have an influence on the decision that can impact their life, their day-to-day life in the area of health, education, public safety, and many more other areas. We put an emphasis on language access. It is important for us, for the community, to understand that the census can be taken in the different languages they speak. Also, we clarify to them that personal information that they will be disclosing won't be shared with any law enforcement agency. This year, I'm planning to respond to the 2020 census online and take it in French. I'm a native French speaker, and I think I'll be more comfortable taking it in French this year online. I see it actually as an opportunity for our community members to be civically engaged and have an influence on the decision that can impact their life, their day-to-day life in the area of health, education, public safety, and many more other areas. We put an emphasis on language access. It is important for us, for the community, to understand that the census can be taken in the different languages they speak. Also, we clarify to them that personal information that they will be disclosing won't be shared with any law enforcement agency. This year, I'm planning to respond to the 2020 census online and take it in French. I'm a native French speaker, and I think I'll be more comfortable taking it in French this year online. I see it actually as an opportunity for our community members to be.
Okay, welcome back to the show. I was already carried away. I'm so excited with the information Lisa is sharing. And I'm like, oh, okay, because I was concerned for a little bit, but just listening to Lisa, there is hope. And I know that we have some great leadership in the hands of the historical Black colleges and universities. We just want to make sure we are making some noise so that we're not forgotten and we're not just getting the crumbs. We are leaders and not followers to that degree, if that makes any sense. So, Lisa, I'm going to bring you just come back on and continue on that path of the great information you were sharing, because I know that it is imperative that we continue to talk about the power within us and what we can do to expand on that power. Even at a horrible time as such as this, a lot of goodness and mercy can come and people can grow even better and bigger and teach the next generation how to make sure they take on that baton and continue to go in that direction. Welcome back again. This is Margaret Speaks talk show. Follow me, Margaret Speaks page. Anywhere you can find Margaret, you can find me. Follow me, whatever. Welcome back, Lisa.
Thank you so much. We are so excited to have you back from the break. We are fleshing out with the U.S. Small Business Administration if HBCUs can be considered a small disadvantaged business because they're technically not a small business, right? And because we know that they don't fall in any of the federal government small business statutory goaling areas, we're trying to discern what are HBCUs, or rather, I should say, what are traditional universities doing that is different from HBCUs? Are they designating a portion of their university as an LLC or something similar? Whatever they're doing, we need to figure out what that is and see if HBCUs can start leveraging those best practices. Right? Yes, because we want to start leveraging those best practices so that we too can get a share of the pie. Today, I encourage HBCU leaders to map out single points of contacts within their organizations that will serve as their federal agency liaison. The COVID-19 pandemic is not a short-term crisis. There's a pressing need for HBCUs to build long-term resilience and understand that outside of Executive Order 13779, there's also a conversation on Executive Order 13747 that they need to get behind.
What is that one? So what is that one? I'm familiar with the first one, but
that executive order is on the global health security. So understanding what that means and parlaying it into Executive Order 13779 and seeing the relevance that HBCUs have will certainly help them build sufficient flexibility to protect their organizations and their university arms from future disruptions. By that, I mean they should consider developing a robust framework that is responsive and resilient and risk management based, right? Right. And it should be technology led because that's your sweet spot anyway. If you have something that works and is great, let's leverage that. Let's ramp it up. Let's support that supply chain data analytics. Let's leverage artificial intelligence and machine learning. When we spoke to HBCUs, what you should know is that HBCUs are doing great things. Norfolk State University actually, even right now, has a virtual internship. and they're doing
Wow, I never heard that
wonderful,
before.
yes, a virtual internship, and they're doing wonderful things. All of these
Mhm,
HBCUs are actually, we're in conversations talking to them about a university affiliated research center to
mhm,
be one of the first ever UARTs in federal government doing work
mhm,
on cryptocurrency, quantum
mhm.
computing, artificial intelligence,
Intelligence.
Bitcoin, digital
Mhm,
currency, some wonderful areas that will definitely change the game for the HBCU communities. And I think that HBCUs should consider a three-tiered supply chain that includes local, I
mhm,
mean, within their communities, state, community, and municipality across the country. And then their third tier would be international. So then in their long-term risk response, that will be part of their integral business model and their usual
mhm,
protocols. And I think that this would be a good way where they could hone in on their core competencies, where it's not just this peripheral view competency. They will be more agile because the
mhm,
government is going to need them to think quickly and be able to respond to these contract and grant opportunities. So certainly we don't
mhm,
want it to be in a place where we're contacting you and it's falling on deaf ears or it's going into a black
mhm,
box of a voicemail. We want to know
mhm,
that while you've raised your hand and you have said yes to wanting to be on contracts and grant opportunities, that you
mhm,
are responsive as well. We want to make sure
mhm.
that you're responsive. And certainly,
Lisa,
go ahead.
this is really amazing. The time is running out, but you and I can keep talking from now till the cows come home. I am so encouraged. I I worried about what's going to happen to them. I know some of them may never have an issue, but some may. But having this conversation and hearing from you as an authority and a specialist in this area, I'm very, very encouraged. So, what I'd like you to do, if there's not, if there's a thing you want to share, I didn't ask you. Basically, I'd like you to take a few minutes, maybe a minute or two, to speak to that, to make sense of what I was concerned about. For those who may not get it, because it is imperative that charity begins at home. We need to think about ourselves, because when you're well, then you can take care of somebody else. You can't give what you don't have. So that's why it's important. I want to make sure those coming behind us, my daughter, Destiny, the baby, is going to college. And I'm concerned, is she going to be in college at my house? Where's she going to go? So it's a whole lot. But I'm so encouraged. So take a minute to share with us your final thoughts before we bring it to a close. And I'm so eternally grateful for you to be here.
Oh, thank you so much. So, you just raised a really good point. I know that this is just Lisa's opinion. Inside the conversation of Executive Order 13779, it talks about that K through 12, taking
Mm,
care of that community and those babies where you can start influencing thoughts and changing paradigm in terms of
mhm,
jobs and thinking about what skills are being utilized now, what are folks
mhm,
doing now? Has there been an increase in janitorial opportunities?
mhm,
What does that look
mhm,
like? But how can janitorial be tied back to your HBCU learning
mhm,
curriculum as it relates to IT and cybersecurity
mhm,
and supply chain data analytics? What we're seeing too is that retailers such
mhm,
as grocery chains are getting the highest proportionate share of sales. How can that be tied back to an HBCU? Certainly, we did raise that thought of improving the diets and things of that nature, but we are also looking at what type of meals are the K through 12 students getting right now, and how can we change that so we can lower the spread of COVID-19? And how can
mhm,
you get engaged with your local community now? Those elementary school and those middle school teachers and those high school teachers, they
mhm,
are struggling. They have a
mhm,
bandwidth of anywhere from 10 to 30 students per class. They have
mm.
never operated in virtual space at all.
Before ever.
Right. But
That's
your
that's the big
university
question.
does it well.
Yeah.
How can
Yes.
you do that? Reach back and or extend that olive branch today. Don't even wait for tomorrow. What
That's
can
right.
you do today to change the narrative for those K through 12 students, where you can develop a program where it's going to propel them to want to sign up to attend your HBCU in the future, as well as
tomorrow.
how are you going to interject what we so need in terms of tooling your faculty as well as your students up on federal contracting, federal grant writing, being able to do a proposal and or a capability briefing. In, think about infusing all of those pieces in the curriculum if that's an area that you want to build out, so that you can start training the trainer. Because once you master it and you do it well, the greatest gift that you can give anyone is the gift of thought and the gift of help. Right?
Lisa, I couldn't just listen. We're going to have to invite you over and we're going to talk about the businesses for the disadvantaged, because you also oversee that. Because a lot of us are sitting here singing the blues, thinking that all the opportunities are gone, but we create our own opportunities. I know 2008 and there were times was something bad, but it wasn't as bad. A lot of mega businesses came out of that. But us as a group of people tend to think, let me go get a job or this and that, or I can't just do that. I would love to invite you again, but on a subject matter from the area you are going, how to tie in those kind of careers into the schools. And that's what WITAT is about. We are the bridge between the classroom and the practical, because you can get all the degrees you want. What are the colleges and universities doing to incorporate the realities of today? That classroom alone is not enough anymore. That's a conversation for another day, Lisa, but I'd be more than glad to invite you over. Do you have a final thought for me to say your goodbyes? Because I know they're still going to watch it. But I want to tell every one of them that this is an honor, and I hope they get it. You have a parting word for them before we bring it to a close, because we're about 2 minutes.
I do. I do encourage them to, if they don't have a business continuity plan, certainly you want to institute one now and start identifying essential and non-essential opportunities. Because when you look at what has been deemed essential now in COVID-19, you want to start infusing that in your curriculum, because you're seeing essential folks, and essential now is the Home Depot, is the Lowe's. So does that mean that maybe construction may be a thought to infuse in your IT curriculum, and making sure that your folks also have technical skills as well as the blue collar skills? I think that that's certainly a thought that we want to think
Lisa,
of.
we're gonna come back again, because you see, that's what WITAT is all about, right? We are specializing in making sure that the children are not getting just the education. Remember, there was time a lot of people said, oh, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a nurse. Some of them don't want that now. So don't get a career because you think you're going to make the most money. Find a place of value where you can change life and you earn good money by default. And that's my position. That's not to say they're not noble causes, they are. But don't do it because you think you're going to collect money. Do it because you want to make a difference in other people's lives. So with that, Lisa, I just want to encourage each and every one of you to please check margaretspeaks.com out. Follow, watch our YouTube channels for different shows we had in the past that will impact people. Again, I want to thank each and every one of you for being here with us this Friday evening. Everybody's getting ready to go to their happy hour. And you thinking, happy hour, the bars are not open, create your own bar at home. Don't drink, do a lot of lemon and water, whatever you want to do. Take care of yourself. This is a time for you to embrace and enjoy and love who you are. Embrace your family. Love everyone around you. Those who hate you, forgive them and pray for them. This is the time to love, because life is too short. Tomorrow is not promised. So Margaret Dureke, Ambassador Dr. Margaret Dureke is my name. This is margaretspeaks.com. Margaret is the only Oprah of Africa, where the platform is encouragement and empowering people. Together and constructive, we can change the world. Thank you so much for being on this show. Until next time, love somebody, take care of somebody, and bless others, because yours is around the corner. Have a good one, and God bless.